In this guitar lesson video, I'm going to teach you 7 awesome minor pentatonic guitar licks that every guitar player should know. You're going to learn some cool pentatonic scale sequences, some awesome guitar speed builders as well for the pentatonic scale. And I'll show you some killer pentatonic licks that use backslides in and out of 2 different pentatonic scale positions. Now you can use all of these pentatonic guitar licks in your own solos or use them to create lots more cool pentatonic licks. All right, so let's dive right in. I'm going to be playing a D minor pentatonic scale for most of these licks. So that will be the minor pentatonic box starting at the 10th fret. That's where we're going to be starting from. Now in this first example, we're going to descend the scale 6 notes or 3 strings at a time like this. And then after that group of 6 notes, we'll start on the 2nd string and go down 3 strings from there. Then we'll start on the 3rd string, and then the 4th string. So all together, pretty cool sound. Let's hear it one more time. So all I'm doing at the very end, I'm just playing the 12th fret here with my 3rd finger, doing a little vibrato, and that's it. So this is a group of 16th notes, but notice that the sequence is in groups of 6, not in groups of 4. So the first beat covers these notes, but our sequence continues down to the next string. So beat 2 starts here. Then we go back to here, start the 2nd sequence. Beat 3 is here. Then beat 4 is here. Now the next measure, beat 1, and then beat 2, and that's beat 3. So even though these are 16th notes, these are not triplets of any kind, they're not sextuplets, we have a sort of a 6 against 4 feel, which is really, really cool when you play this in the context of a song. All right, in this next example, we're going to take exactly the same sequence, but we're going to approach it differently. So in the first example, we were playing everything as 16th notes, 1E and a 2E and a 3, etc. Now we'll play it as 8th note triplets, or if you prefer, you could do it as 16th note triplets. But basically, we're going to play 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, etc. Same notes in the same order, but the feel is a little bit different because now our group of 6 is lining up a little nicer with a triplet feel, with the beats when played as triplets. So if you're playing it as 8th note triplets, as I just did, then you have half of the sequence of 6 notes on beat 1, the second half on beat 2, and then the same thing continues for beats 3 and 4, etc. If you play it as 16th note triplets, then you'll have all 6 notes on one beat. So every time that the sequence starts again, that would be beat 2, beat 3, and then beat 4 would be there. All right, before we go on any further, I've got another video here on YouTube called 5 Easy Pentatonic Guitar Licks You Should Know. If you find the exercises that we're doing in this video a little challenging, you might want to start with that video first and then come on back to this one. All right, in this next example, we're going to play strings 2 and 3 from our minor pentatonic box here. Just those 4 notes, just repeated. And it has a really nice sound to it. You can play it pretty fast. Notice the picking pattern. I'm not using alternate picking here. I'm actually sweeping through this, so I'm starting on a downstroke, then upstroke, then another upstroke. So that's our sweep picking motion. And then for the 4th note, that's a downstroke. And then when the pattern begins again on beat 2, that's also a downstroke. So we had a little sweep picking motion here with the picking hand. So after the first downstroke, it's all sweep picking after that. Okay, there's no alternate picking or anything like that. It's just faster, it's easier, it's more efficient to pick it this way than to pick it any other way. Now let's take the previous example and make it a little bit more interesting. So we'll start off the same way with our little 4-note pattern. Then when we're about to repeat it, we're going to play these two notes, C and A, 2 times before we go to the 3rd string. Now we'll do it again, 2 times, then the 3rd string. And we start the whole thing over again from the beginning. 2 times here, 2 times again, once, twice, twice, and repeat. It's a really cool sound. You can get pretty aggressive with it. It's still really just sweep picking. It's alternate picking when you're on the same string there. But everything else is being swept here. Down, up, down, etc. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty easy to get this one quick. This next set of examples I'm going to show you use what are called backslides. Now, if you don't know what backslides are or you're struggling to play them, check out my other video here on YouTube that's called Improve Your Guitar Solos Immediately, Backslides. So that video will sort of introduce the concept, show you some pretty easy ways to get them up to speed, and I think that will help you with the examples that are going to come next. In this next example, we're going to be shifting between 2 different positions of the minor pentatonic scale to create a really cool lick, pentatonic lick, that uses backslides across 2 positions. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We've got this position here, the one that we started with, the little typical D minor pentatonic box, and then we've got another position here. Okay, it's the 5th position right below it. Okay, now you don't necessarily have to have that learned and memorized in order to play this next lick, but it will be easier for you to visualize if you do. So here's what the lick sounds like. We're going to start here on the F note, the 13th fret. We'll do a pull off to D. Now we're going to go down to the next position and slide to C note. So we've got, and slide back up. Okay, so here's our little box, remember? All right, so we're doing pull off, slide, and slide back. It's called a backslide, when you slide back to where you started, okay? Then we go to the next string and do the same thing. So we got to pull off, slide down, slide back up, so that's our backslide. Then on the next string, we've got 12th fret to the 10th fret, pull off, slide down to 7, slide back up to 10. Same thing on the next string. On the next string, here we slide only down to the 8th fret. And then we've got our low E string. So together it sounds like this. It's a really nice, cool sound, and it's kind of a slippery, slidey kind of sound. Very cool little minor pentatonic lick over 2 positions. Now we're going to take this same concept of shifting between 2 different scale positions, and instead of shifting down to the scale position down here, we're going to shift up. So if you don't know, we've got our minor pentatonic box here. And right above that, we've got the major pentatonic fingering here. Now, if you have that scale fingering memorized already, then that will help you to remember what notes we're sliding to. So I'm sliding up to G, okay? So because that note is in this minor pentatonic or major pentatonic finger. Okay? So here's the lick. We start on string 2. We're setting the scale. Now we slide up and slide back. So that's our backslide. Pull off. Now from here, got a backslide there. Backslide here. You have to go all the way up to the 15th fret here. Same thing there. And then we've got the whole thing. So it's like this. Really cool sound. Again, it's kind of has that sort of slippery, slidey legato sound. It's very nice because it's shifting between the two scale positions. It's not something you hear that often. It's not totally unheard of, but it's not super common. So when you play it, it will sound pretty fresh and pretty clean, pretty cool. For our next example, we're going to be shifting between 3 different positions of the minor pentatonic scale. Okay, so we're actually going to start down here on the 8th fret. We got this little 5-note pattern. So we're using fingers 1 and 3. And then we're going to slide to fret 12. Okay, so now we're in our typical D minor pentatonic box. We're there now, okay? So then we're going to play these same 5 notes 1 octave higher, starting right here on the string 4, fret 10. So it's still fingers 1 and 3. We slide up 2 frets. Now we're going to play the same 5 notes yet again, starting on string 2, fret 13 on the C note. Slide up to A, slide back. We'll just finish it off here on F. So all together, slowly, it's... That's all it is. It sounds really cool, and what I like about this one is that we are playing in essentially groups of 5, which is not that common, so it sounds pretty cool. And then the other thing that I like about it is it really helps you, or helps reinforce in your mind, where the scale positions are. Because it's not just staying in one position, but we're starting in this position, then going to this one, then going to this one. So it's really good to sort of connect these in your mind and see how they overlap each other. Now let's talk about how do you practice these cool pentatonic guitar licks. Well, you don't have to learn and master them all. My suggestion is to just take one of the licks, whichever one either is the easiest for you or the one that you like the sound of the most, and just get familiar with the notes. Memorize the lick first, so you're not having to read anything or having to watch this video in order to play it. Okay, so step 1, memorize it. Then step 2, make sure that the picking pattern you're using in the picking hand is the most efficient that you could be using in order to play these minor pentatonic licks, or really any guitar licks, as efficiently as possible. Okay, so that might mean, in fact, it probably will mean that alternate picking is not going to be, in fact, it is not going to be the most economical or efficient picking motions that you could play with. So directional picking would be much more efficient. It will help you to build a lot more speed with these minor pentatonic guitar licks without having to, increase the rate at which your hand moves in order to pick those scales. So that's a conversation for another time. I've got a video on directional picking on YouTube if you want to check that out. But in the meantime, memorize the lick. Make sure that the picking pattern you're using is the most efficient and effective it can be, and then worry about putting together the techniques of the left hand with what it is that you're picking. I made this video today because one of you had been asking me multiple times to make a new video on more minor pentatonic licks, so I did so per your request. So if you have more topics you'd like me to make videos on, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to read them. I read every comment, and I will certainly make more videos based on what people like you are asking for. So today we've been talking about minor pentatonic guitar licks and some cool licks and how to play them. But if you want to develop more speed in your fretting hand, you'll love my new free e-guide called Mastering Fretting Hand Finger Independence for guitar players. It's totally free, no strings attached, and I think you're going to love this. Check out the link below to download your copy right now.